set it, set it, take profit, set it, forget it, set it, forget it, set it, set it, take profit, set it, forget it, set it, forget it, set it, forget it, yeah, take profit, set it, forget it, set it, forget it, set it, set it, take profit.
Pippin', I'm pippin', no stopping me. Set it, forget it, a lot of green. Into my pockets, I'm profiting. This is a better way, gotta be. Riding in foreign, dollar speed. Louis and Gucci, got what I need. Wrists on froze, TP a breeze. Dealer, I bleed. This what I breathe. Wake up, pussy trade in the AM. When I think hard, I just turn off the screen. If I ain't in profit yet, I gotta stop. Said, well, you know what I mean. Every little inch it moves, kinda change my mood, so I don't wanna see. Gotta set it and forget it till it hits TB.
Set it, forget it, set it, forget it, set it.
Yes. What's going on, family? What is up? What is up? What is up? Should take profit. Yes, family. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Shout out to you guys tuning in today. I know it's a little late, a little random, but we got news in about 2 minutes. News in about 2 minutes. We're gonna see how the market comes out, how the news event comes out, and then we'll go ahead and get into breaking it all down, family. But let's see what the actual data does come out as. All right, go drop those locations in the chat. By the way, if you're with me this morning, drop those locations in the chat. Take profit. Take profit. Yeah. Set it, forget it. Set it, forget it. Set it and forget it. Take profit. Set it, forget it. All right, we got 30 seconds, family. 30 seconds for NFP. Now, keep in mind, family. All right, it is going to be a very interesting day. We have a crap ton of bank holidays as well. All right, so I'm probably not going to be actively, looking to rush into a position. All right, because obviously I don't know what to expect. All right, with major news event tied up with massive bank holidays. Right, so please be mindful if you guys are going to trade today for whatever reason. Right, please be mindful of that. There's probably not going to be as much volatility or volume in the markets, but let's see what this came out as. So we came out at 236. Okay. Interesting. Look at the dollar reacting to the actual news release itself. Look at the dollar reacting real quick. Let's see what else we got here. GBPUSD was the opportunity we were looking at yesterday. Let's see the dollar itself. The dollar is gaining strength off of this release. Now let's go ahead and break down exactly what this release means, family. All right, let me go ahead and turn this music down a little bit. Let's go ahead and break down what this actual release means and why the dollar is probably reacting the way that it is, right? And not just that, but the unemployment rate actually went lower, right? It actually came out at 3.5% as opposed to 3.6%, right? So let's go ahead and break this down because this could get us an insight as to what we could expect, guys, overall in the markets going into next week. Now, again, this week, for today, if you're actively trying to trade today, for one, you are a brave soul, and for two, hopefully you're under leveraging completely, right? This is the day, guys, where it just doesn't make sense to actually trade whatsoever. All right, with this many bank holidays, trying to take advantage of this event with this many bank holidays, it might be a recipe for disaster, right? So again, if you do decide to trade, because I know some of y'all just can't control yourselves, right? I know some of y'all just have to push the damn buy or sell button. Under leverage, right? Lower your risk even more. If you risk 1%, risk 0.5%. If you risk 2%, risk 1%, right? Again, the name of the game here, guys, is money management, right? How are you managing your funds throughout the course of your journey, right? That's the name of the game here. All right, so please be mindful of that. Now, what can we interpret from this data? Well, non-farm payroll. This event actually measures the number of employed people from the previous month. How many more people have now become employed compared to the previous month? They were actually expecting, or at least previous number was at 326. They were expecting, or the rumor was for it to come out 239, and we actually came out at 236. All right, so we have seen a decline in the amount of people that actually filed or at least got employed for the first time in a little while, right? So we're seeing that number drop. We're seeing the number of employed people drop overall. And when you combine that and you look at the unemployment rate also dropping, these news events are kind of contradictory, right? We're seeing less people employed, but we're also seeing a lower unemployment rate, right? This can get very tricky if you guys don't know what if you guys don't know what you're looking at, right? But we're seeing less people employed as the unemployment rate actually dropped as well, right? So this is kind of a release itself, guys, that again is going to conflict against each other. Less people employed, but more people, or not more, but less people got hired. Less people actually also filed for unemployment. They're gonna, you know, it's an interesting release to say the least, right? It's an interesting release to say the least. What do I think is gonna happen based off of this data? Right? I want to know you guys. I want you guys to answer this in the chat. For me. What do you guys think? Right? Is gonna happen to the markets based off this release? Go ahead and answer that in the chat real quick. Right now, go ahead and see what we got in the building today. We got AJ, Winston, Jerry, Tony. What's up? Saucin, my little bro Danny. What's up? Trader Rico in the building. Alana, how are you doing? All right, let's see what else we got here. Texas, Brooklyn in the building. Sydney, Australia. Indiana from Michigan. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stephen, what's going on? Gold is closed. Good Friday religious holiday. Yep, gold is closed. I mean, honestly, we should look at the markets as everything being closed. Today is not the day, all right, to try to, you know, make some money in the markets, unfortunately. And if you are, lower your risk. All right, I'm personally not going to be trading today. It just doesn't make no sense to me. Right? If I'm trying to trade, and if my objective is to find the highest probability opportunities in the market, I lose confidence in that objective when we're dealing with this much news. Or not even news, but when we're dealing with, you know, this many holidays. All right? So, just keep that in mind. I'm personally not going to be trading, but I will give you guys an insight as to what I believe, right? So, the biggest thing that I'm looking at, guys, although non-farm is important, I'm looking at the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate, in my opinion, holds more weight. Why? Because the unemployment rate is a big reason why Jerome Powell still has a very, very tough job here at the Federal Reserve. Why? Because, I mean, the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate, right? What are the two objectives, guys, that the Federal Reserve has? I know you guys know. I know a lot of y'all actually know the answer to this. I know for sure a lot of you guys know the answer, especially if you guys been rocking with us for a while now, right? If you guys been tuning into my streams, my sessions, if you guys been hearing, you know, me talk my fundamental talk, you guys should know what the dual objective is for the Federal Reserve. Right? And the reason why I asked this is because, again, one of those objectives ties into the unemployment rate. Right? It ties into the labor market as a whole, right? All the different, you know, indicators that help us determine the labor market, right? But unemployment rate is one of those. Okay? Very important for us to see. Right? Shout out to Matthew. What's up? Wally, Gerson, Austin, T-Rob. I see y'all. Free Zone. Lou in the building. Shout out to Free Zone. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. To be honest, I don't know what to think. Yeah, it's interesting. I think this is risk on data. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure, Wally. It is possible, right? Based off of the reaction though, where we're seeing, this is more risk off, right? If we're looking at it based off the initial reaction that we're seeing, right? Remember, dollar strength leads to more of a risk off type of environment, right? When we see dollar strength like this, and I want to take a look at the indices as well. Indices are actually holding pretty strong. Right, the indices are also holding pretty strong to this actual release, which is kind of interesting, right? Because we're seeing the dollar gain strength, and we're even seeing indices gain strength, which again is very, very interesting, guys. Because normally, not always, but normally they usually do one or the other, right? So that's pretty interesting to see, right? The fact that they actually are in alignment. Let me just take a look at the rest of the market and see what we got here, right? So gold is obviously closed. We're not going to be able to do anything gold. UCAD should be, obviously all dollar pairs are going to be leaning towards dollar strength. So UCAD flying, UJ flying, Euro dropping, GBPUSD dropping. What is pound yen doing? Pound yen is actually gaining some strength as well off of this, which is very interesting. Right, so overall, guys, man, it's been a very interesting release. How are the crypto markets holding up? Right, so the crypto markets initially spiked up, spiked down, very choppy in its sense. Right, so that's interesting. But this is very interesting data, guys, right? How the dollar is increasing in value. But yet, indices are actually, they initially started off high, and they're still holding up pretty strong. Right, so this is actually pretty freaking interesting. If you ask me how I would interpret this data now to see if there's anything that can tell us about the dollar or indices, is the fact that we actually lowered the unemployment rate is very, very telling. Right, the fact that we went from 3.6% back down to 3.5% is very, very telling. Why? Well, because again, like I mentioned, guys, the question that I asked y'all is, the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate, and what is that mandate, right? The first one is to have stable prices, price stability, right? We do not have stable prices currently in the U.S., and because when we say stable prices, we're talking about prices back near that 2% growth year over year level, right? We want prices to remain around 2% CPI year over year, or 2% growth for goods and services year over year. We have not seen that, right? In fact, we went from 2% all the way up to 9%. Now we're sitting at around 6%, right? 5-6% for the price, or the change in the prices of goods and services year over year. So clearly, that's not stable prices, which is why we've been dealing with, or at least, which is why the Fed has been using tools like interest rates to try to stabilize the markets once again, right? But the second thing is also to have a very strong labor market, which we actually do, right? So we have one out of the two mandates checked off the book. But here's the hard part. This is the tough part for the Federal Reserve family. Go ahead and like the stream, by the way. Right? I need you guys to go ahead and smash the like button one time, family. Go ahead and like the video one time. Right? If you guys are getting some value as of right now, and I just started talking, right? Like I just started talking. But if you guys are getting some value as of right now, family, go ahead and show me by smashing the like button one time. All right, I want to make sure that we are, exposing this information to a much broader audience, right? Because this is the stuff that you guys really are never exposed to from the Forex world, right? Especially if you follow certain Forex traders here on YouTube. 99% of Forex YouTubers, guys, do not talk about fundamentals for their own reasons. I don't know why, right? It could be because they just don't utilize it. They don't understand it themselves, whatever the case may be, right? But this is the information that you guys should be understanding. All right. So, again, dual mandate for the Fed. Stable prices. We have not had it. So they're using interest rates as a way to try to stabilize the markets or stabilize prices. And also a tight labor market, which we do have. But in order for the Fed or any head of central bank, right, especially if their mandate is to have stable prices and low unemployment, they're going to kind of contradict each other, right? Because in order for us to continue to lower, right, our CPI, which again is the change in the price of goods and services, if we want to lower our CPI, then we unequivocally need the unemployment rate to go higher. All right? If we want consumer spending to slow down, all right, which consumer spending plays a major role in inflation. If we want consumer spending to slow down, then we need the unemployment rate to go higher. Right? We need less people employed. We are a consumer-based economy, right, where we get money and we spend it. We get money and we spend it. Our habits are way off over here in the U.S., right? We do not know how to save, and I'm not saying everybody, right? But we have a spending problem. So we get money, we spend it. So in order for us to combat the demand for goods and services, we need to see a higher unemployment rate. We're not seeing that. Right? A lower unemployment rate is only going to fuel that inflation talk a little bit more. Oh, man. Are y'all with me, family? Drop a 3 in the chat if y'all with me, man. Drop a 3 in the chat if y'all with me real quick. I'm gonna be honest, family, and I say this often because it's so important, right? I say this often because it's so important. My trading has absolutely elevated ever since I truly started to understand the fundamentals, right? Like it makes it so much easier for me to pick and choose the trades that I want to take, because I'm always looking at it from a fundamental approach first, not just a technical approach, right? And when you understand this simple concept, especially of what we're currently dealing with, current market conditions, right? Dealing with high inflation, dealing with low unemployment rate, when you're able to understand these two and you're able to see how the market comes out, you can start to come up with your own bias that aligns with what the institutions are actually doing. Because the institutions are looking at this number right now, and this is actually going to bring a little bit of fear into them, right? This is going to keep us away from the stock market. This is going to want to keep us away from indices, from crypto, or from commodities, right? Because a lower unemployment rate is not helping us if the main objective is to fight inflation. Okay? It's not helping us at all. Right, and big shout out to you guys for dropping the threes. Wally, T. Rob, Alana, AJ, Tunde, and Matteo. What's up? Danny, Trader Rico, Silky, Black, Ricks, Jerry. Appreciate y'all for participating. Right, but yeah, this number right here, guys, should fuel dollar strength, because this is going to add fear. If this number would have went higher at 3.7, 3.8, if it would have came higher, then we would have seen the dollar actually drop off the face of the earth, right? Let's go ahead and see what the dollar is still doing. Is it still holding strong? It's still holding pretty strong as well, right? If this unemployment number would have came out higher, then that technically, quote unquote, technically would have been a good thing for current market conditions. For current market conditions, right? High inflationary period, low unemployment. Yeah, if the number would have came out higher, unemployment rate would have came out higher, the dollar would be tanking right now, because everybody would be looking to find riskier assets to get involved in instead. All right, so I hope this makes sense. All right, so now what do I think can happen for the dollar itself, right? Well, I don't know. I'm a big fan, guys, right? And this is something we've been looking at all week here. Honestly, we've been looking at it for the past couple of weeks. Is how is the dollar going to react to this demand zone that we have here? All right, how is the dollar going to react when we come back down into this area of structure where we clearly had a lot of demand enter the market in the past? Right? This is what I was personally waiting for. Right, obviously we can make our assumptions, we can throw our opinions out there, like, yeah, man, you know, this level should hold. In fact, that's what I've been saying. Right, I've been saying that I wanted to see this level hold, and that we actually see the dollar go ahead and rebound and go back bullish. This is what I've been saying. Now, is it actually going to happen long term? Who knows? Right, only time will tell if that actually ends up happening. I don't know. I'm not freaking psychic. Right? I think that's what a lot of people think traders are, right? Especially experienced traders, right? Yeah, we have our edges in the market. You know, we have the ability to identify certain things that give us a heads up as to what the market can do. But that don't mean we're damn psychics. Right? That don't mean that we can predict 1,000%, you know, as to what's going to happen. No, right? So only time will tell ultimately if our analysis ends up playing out, right? But for me, I've always been interested in seeing if we can go back bullish, right? And honestly, this unemployment rate coming out the way that it is, or the way that it did, it's only giving me more confidence in the fact that we could eventually see the market break out to the upside. Right now, I know you guys are probably looking at this trend line here, and you guys are probably saying, well, you use trend lines, bro? Well, yeah, you could say I use trend lines, but I don't use trend lines in the same way that most people use them. I use trend lines as a way to identify liquidity. Why? Because liquidity is where the market is going to head towards, right? The market is liquidity driven, right? If we want to be able to identify, if we wanted to identify direction in the market from a technical perspective, then you obviously got to do your analysis, but you also got to target liquidity, all right? The market is liquidity driven, all right? So I think what I would like to see, now that we ended up sweeping this liquidity right here, right? This little bit of a support level that was created, the market ran through it, and now we're starting to rebound, Right now that we grab sell side liquidity, I want to start targeting buy side liquidity next. Let me guys, you go ahead and start removing some of this stuff, right? And one of the easiest or more obvious areas of liquidity, guys, is this damn trend line. Think about how many traders are going to try to sell this trend line. Now, granted, again, the market going to do what it wants to do, right? You know, so if it does sell off here, it is what it is. But that's not what I'm interested in. That's not a part of my strategy, right? That's not a part of my edge, right? My edge is what gives me a statistical advantage when I'm approaching these markets. And more times than not, based off statistics and based off of back testing and years and years and years of putting in work, these trend lines do not last. They do not hold. Why? Because everybody that's newer, rookies, beginner traders, they're all going to be looking at this trend line as an opportunity to go ahead and get involved. And what does that mean? Right? If people are looking to sell from here, right? If people are already sold from up here, that means that there's a ton of liquidity, a ton of orders, possibly above these levels. All right? So if I'm looking for a long-term opportunity for us to target, then yeah, I would love to target up here. I would love to target up here. I would love to even go ahead and target all the way back up to the highs. All right, to see if we can continue in the overall flow that I think we can go into. All right, we've been experiencing a pretty interesting sell-off here, guys, for the dollar ever since September happened. But what is the likelihood, right? And again, it doesn't have to happen right away, but what is the likelihood of us actually going ahead and getting back into an over bullish trend? Is it possible? What do you guys think, family? I want to know your thoughts, man. Is it possible for the dollar to say, you know what? Nope, we're just going to go ahead and break back out and go back into the overall bullish trend that we've been in since COVID, right? Since 2021, we had a massive run up to the upside. We had a little bit of a correction here. If you think that this is just a pullback, do you guys think we can continue bullish here long term? What do you guys think in the chat, family? Let me know, right? Again, but there's no such thing as a wrong opinion here, right? Especially when we're looking at this thing from this perspective, you know, because the market gonna do what it wants, right? The market can actually drop first before we even see that, right? Or the market can just go from there, right? There's so many different potential outcomes, right? It is what it is. What is y'all thoughts and opinions? All right, because, yeah, that unemployment rate is definitely giving me a lot more confidence to potentially look for more upside for sure. All right, because that's the current data that just came out that's probably going to hold some weight. Right, so I want to align myself with the current data that could potentially hold some weight. Right, so, yeah, I want to see if there's opportunity for us to go bullish long term. All right, so let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat as well, right? Family, go ahead and like the video as well. Like the video. If you guys have not done so, just share. I truly appreciate every single one of y'all that do like the video and support the channel. All right, it means a lot to me. And it expands our video out to a broader audience, man. So I appreciate y'all for showing me love. And I'll continuously do what I got to do. If you guys haven't noticed neither, family, all right, I've actually dropped some videos this week on my channel, by the way. Like, I haven't dropped regular videos in a while, right? I dropped like a mini vlog / tip video beginning of the week. And then I also dropped a markup charting up video. So shout out to you guys that watched that video, that liked, commented, and shared that video. I appreciate y'all. But I made myself a goal for this month. All right, so you guys are going to be getting a lot more content out of me as well on this channel, right? I made a goal for this month to drop at least 3 videos a week. All right, that's my goal for this month for you guys here on YouTube, right? Drop 3 videos a week, educational videos, how-to videos, you know, markup videos, live streams like this one right here, right? These type of videos, you know, all that stuff, right? So it's gonna be pretty dope, you know. But yeah, you know, we're turning it up, guys, right? If I can make it through this month, and I need y'all to hold me accountable as well, right? But if I can make it through this month and dropping 3 videos a week, then I'll be doing that for the rest of the year. Right, that's the goal, right? 3 videos a week for the whole month. If I can do that for the whole month, then I'll be able to do it for the whole year. Right? I'm trying to set the tone with this month, right? So it's gonna be dope, man. I'm back on my ish here on YouTube, family. I know I've been very, you know, up and down with content here, but that's just because I was in the process of launching my community. You know, I was in the process of launching, you know, the Profit Society, right? So obviously a lot of my focus and energy had to go over there, you know. But now that we got it up and running and we're doing pretty good over there, you know, now I'm going to be bringing obviously a lot of content back to, you know, YouTube as well, right? So definitely be on the lookout for that. You guys need to go ahead and smash the like button for that reason alone, right? Smash the like button for the fact that I'm going to be consistent here on YouTube once again, right? Free value, free game, and it's not no cookie cutter BS that I'm going to be teaching y'all neither, right? I'm going to be giving y'all the sauce for sure, okay? So let's see what else we got here though. Yo, Abel, that call last night was decent. Yeah, it was a cool call for sure. It really was. Let's see what levels you see on the Dixie, right? So, yeah, man, if again, the keyword is here, is if, right? If we're able to go ahead, we have these lows right here, we have the run of the lows. If we are able to go ahead and break above this 103 level, this is going to be the real make or break here, right? If we do keep this momentum and we're able to break above 103, then yeah, that is going to fuel my thought process of us continuing bullish. If we eventually have enough momentum, guys, to clear this 103, then you best believe it, we're probably going to continue going bullish here. So that's literally what I'm approaching now, right? I'm looking at this whole range right here that we have created. Let me actually highlight this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about, right? I'm looking at this entire range right here, and I'm asking myself, okay, what is the market doing here, right? We see that we created this level of structure, the support. We ran the support, and now we're trying to rebound, right? Well, it kind of looks very familiar. For those of you guys that are familiar with Wyckoff, which I know some of y'all are, a lot of y'all are, especially if you guys are a part of the private, you know, community. If you guys are a part of, you know, the Profit Society, then you guys should be, you know, have some type of understanding of Wyckoff, right? Because that's something that, you know, a lot of us actually talk about, right? But if we're over here thinking about or looking at this thing from a Wyckoff perspective, let me go ahead and find, this is actually not distribution. I'm tripping. This will be accumulation because it's at the lows. Accumulation. I can't even spell. All right, so if we are looking for something, then it will be probably something like this. Right, if we look at this picture right here, let me actually say, can I save this picture? Yeah, I can. Cool. Let me save this picture. Let me bring it up. All right, perfect. All right, so if we look at this picture right here, and we combine that with what's actually happening here, you might start to see some similarities. All right, let me see, where'd that picture go? You might start to see some similarities. Let me see. Come on. Let me make you a little small. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's fine. We'll leave it like that, right? You might start to see some similarities here, right? And this is important because of where this is actually being created at. Remember, we're at a major area of demand as it is. Right now, we're starting to see the market do certain things, guys, that look very similar to this right here, this schematic that we have. All right, I mean, we can go ahead and write it out. All right, so you guys can see SC. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just write this out really quickly, and then we'll go ahead and break down exactly what all this stuff means. And if you guys agree with this being a potential accumulation, let me know in the chat real quick. If you guys agree with this being accumulation, or if you guys think it's something else, let me know in the chat. So we got the spring, and now we're going to be, I mean, we do have, this could be, you know, the test, ST for spring test. Actually, I'll write it out. I don't even think we tested the spring fully just yet. And then we obviously will be going into the marking up phase, right? Which is the LPS, all this good stuff. But doesn't this look similar? right? We came from the downtrend. We put in the SC, right? We put in the ST. We ran the support, created the spring, and now we could be in the process of marking up. I don't know. What do you think, Wally? I know, Wally. I know a few of y'all definitely been taking, your Wyckoff knowledge to the next level, right? So what do you guys think? Does this look familiar? Does this look like something that could really happen? Does this look similar? Because that's what I would be looking for, right? Again, I want to see the market go ahead and do something like this, break above, bring back in, and then we're able to go ahead and see price, mark up. All right. Again, this is still early, but yeah, this is what I'm looking at for the dollar itself. And if you combine this with what just happened from a fundamental standpoint, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. All right, let's see. Too much money in people's pockets. Yeah, Abel, big blessings. Thank you for providing this for us. Which one is the most important news that moves the market? NFP or the employment rate? That's a great question, right? They both hold weight. But I think the unemployment rate is more important now than anything else, right? I think the unemployment rate itself is going to hold a lot more weight than the actual NFP release. Why? Because obviously the unemployment rate is what the Fed itself, the Federal Reserve, is paying attention to, right? To dictate, to see if our labor market is still extremely resilient, which it still is, right? Or if it's finally starting to waver. Okay? So let's see what else we got here. That is a great question, by the way. Your family workout video was cute. I appreciate that, Sativa. Right? Wanted to add a little bit more of a vlog style in it. See what it is, right? Thoughts on GJ? Yeah, we'll get into GJ in a second. I got you. Let's see. We appreciate all you do. Appreciate y'all. We need guys here for another outlook. Love when you guys bring the ideas. Yeah, 100%. All right, we're able to bounce off ideas. It's pretty lit. Let's see. It looks like, but until there is a displacement, I don't see any bullish renewed strength in the 4 hour. We might be heading for that low to get a major spring. I mean, it is possible, right? It is possible for us to retest the spring again. But I don't know. Well, only time will tell, right? Let's see. Makes sense when you compare with volume using capital column charts. SC had large climactic volume. Spring had up demand volume. Only problem, demand volume is diminishing. Yeah, that's very possible as well. Let's see. I see a small 4 hour, a small range 4 hour. Okay. Interesting. I mean, yeah, so we'll see how this plays out. We shall see how this plays out. It's just interesting to see this forming right at this level of demand. Right? This is what I want to see if I'm looking for a bullish play to the upside, so that we can go ahead and grab all this trend line liquidity, right? So we can go ahead and start to grab all this, buy side liquidity above these levels of resistance. It's all lining up to me personally. All right, all this liquidity needs to be grabbed up here. It looks like we're forming that structure point to get up there. But yeah, only time will tell, man. We'll see what happens though. Ultimately, right? We shall see ultimately what does happen overall. Let's see. I'm really not interested in longing the dollar today. Maybe next week I'll entertain it. Just don't see anything worth it. For me, the more noise people seeing it will go up, the less chances it will happen. The likelihood of it being stuck in this range fair. 100%. Right. You know why I don't expect the market to do much today? Look at the calendar. Right. This is why I told y'all I'm not trading. Right. I'm coming up with ideas for next week. Right. Not for today. I'm not trading today. Look at this calendar. Right, this is gross. Right, so even though we had major news, we can't expect too much volume in this market. We can't expect too much volatility. We just can't. Damn near every central bank is closed right now. Right, United States is closed. The UK is closed. Germany's closed. Switzerland, France, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. All right, Canada's closed like 4 times. Right. So yeah, that's the reason why I wouldn't be looking for no longs right now. I wouldn't be looking for shorts right now neither. right? Like there's no volume behind it because there's no volume in the markets right now. But coming up next week, hell yeah. Depending on how the market opens up next week, that can absolutely give us an opportunity to go ahead and start longing the dollar, in my opinion, of course, right? Everything is opinion based. But in my opinion, yeah, that would be extremely, extremely interesting for sure. Right, but let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the market. I know somebody has said GJ. I'll take a look at GJ in a second. I'm interested to see how these indices are playing off. We did just get the 4-hour candle closure as well. So let's see how these look from a 4-hour perspective, right? So this is interesting, right? Indices, they actually ended up gaining strength as well off of that unemployment number, right? Which is kind of interesting. All right, they actually ended up gaining strength as the dollar gained strength. Is one of these lying, family, or is the dollar and indices just going to actually gain strength together? What do you guys think? Because again, not always. I don't want to say like it always happens, right, that they have a negative correlation, but more times than not, they usually have a negative type of correlation. Right, where if the dollar is extremely strong, that's because people are taking money out of their assets, their equities, their indices, and they're flowing into the dollar, right? And then the opposite side of that, when the dollar is extremely weak, that means people are leaving the dollar to go ahead and find some assets to invest into. Right, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen here with the indices, right? And I'll give you guys my thoughts as well. All right, because this is very interesting to see them actually increasing right now as the dollar is also gaining strength. What's gold doing? And gold, again, gold is technically closed, so there's nothing that we can do with gold because that is closed. But if gold was open, I'm interested to see how gold would have reacted as well to this. I would have been super interested to see how gold reacted to that as well. But we can't because they're closed. Let's see. Indices has valid positive strength, even with the cross pairs had a spike with news. Yep. Say no to trading should become a normal thing from an experience perspective. Oh yeah, 100%. You got to pick your battles, man. You got to pick your battles for sure. Right? You have to be able to pick your battles for sure. Right? Every day is not a trading day. I'm be honest with y'all. All right, so GJ though, and we'll go back into the indices in a second, right? I want you guys to think about the indices. But GJ actually ended up closing very, very nicely, right? This is one of my favorite, right? This is one of my favorite candlestick patterns right here. This candlestick pattern, man, is extremely, extremely powerful, family. I'm not even going to lie. More times than not, I'm not going to say 100% of the times, more times than not, when we get a candlestick like this, there's usually a follow-through. Right? There's usually a follow-through, right? When we see candlesticks like this. Now, what do I mean by candlesticks like this? Well, this candlestick at one point was extremely bearish, right? It actually closed below the previous candlesticks, right? So the fact that we ended up spiking below the previous candlesticks, but found enough demand to completely engulf it this aggressively after initially spiking below the lows, that shows that there's a lot of demand behind this candlestick right here. Right, and this is something that again happens on all time frames as well. If you notice this candlestick, family, on any time frame, man, y'all better have some confidence in that candlestick, because more times than not, that thing gonna hold some weight. That thing gonna hold some weight. We gonna see some follow through, whether it takes a little bit of time or whether it happens right away. More times than not, we should see some follow through to that. Right, but I will say this, Eric. All right, because I know you we love these GJ talks, right? We love these GJ conversations. But I will say this. From a fundamental standpoint, I'm still very much bullish GJ. Right? I'm still very much bullish the pound yen. From a fundamental standpoint. Right? I think that we are still going to see higher pricing here for GJ, 100%. But from a technical standpoint, this thing is looking a little suspect besides my favorite candlestick right here, right? Like, this thing is looking extremely suspect, right? And I say that because what has the market ultimately done recently, right? We obviously seen the market give us this nice strong push up, this higher low, right? Then we ended up creating this higher high, right? We swept these highs, and then the market eventually came down and swept these lows, right? Now, this in itself is not necessarily fully a decision maker on if this is going to drop, but we also are starting to feel, create very choppy markets, right? This looks like a nice little flag pattern to where we could see another continuation lower. That's what it looks like. Okay, so from a technical perspective, yeah, I'm a little on edge here, right? Because again, the market can realistically go either direction, right? We're literally retesting this level right here of structure, and this level of structure could very well potentially hold if it wants to. Now, again, I don't think it will because my favorite candlestick is there, and I know how strong that candlestick is, but it's also very possible to do so, right? That this level does hold, that this level is respected. I mean, we've seen this level tested numerous times now, right? So is this level going to hold and respect, or is it something that we're going to see a breakout to the upside? Right? Last night, I was leaning towards this thing dropping. Because, again, we are creating this pattern that more times than not leads towards, a selling off of, right? This little bearish flag pattern is a continuation pattern. Right? This is a continuation. We have the pull, we have the flag, and now the continuation, right? So that pattern there is leaning towards sell side. But I don't want to go against my favorite candlestick pattern, man. This pattern is so powerful. It's that powerful, guys, where I think at this point we can actually see GJ possibly gain strength. All right, so it's very interesting, man. I'm torn. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm torn from a longer-term perspective as to what GJ could do, all right? Because fundamentally I'm one way. Technically I'm a different way. And that's why I haven't been trading GJ as much lately, right? Because when I'm not fully clear and if my fundamentals don't line up with my technicals, and I don't even trade it, period. All right, let me say that again, right? If my fundamentals do not align with my technicals, then I just stay out the markets. Or at least for that pair, I just don't trade it. I find something else that makes a little bit more sense. All right, so that's pretty much where I'm at for GJ, man. Very interesting pair here. Definitely is one of our favorites here in this channel. And it's one that I've been watching a lot for over the years. Let's see. I'm not against selling it if the opportunity presents itself. I wouldn't mind taking it to the long-term buys or position. We can't just go up. Yeah, nah, I hear you. I'm with you, bro. Realistically, I was talking to Skaggs about it. We've been ping-ponging this range. We really have, right? We've been in this range. I mean, if we go to the bigger time frame, right, we've really been, stuck inside of this entire range right here for a while. All right, we have been. And it is what it is, right? But I will say this. Even looking at it from this perspective, from a bigger, like this just looks bearish from a technical perspective, right? This massive sell-off. And now we have this correction right here, right? This little flag pattern correction. Yeah, this looks... and I hate to say it because I have a bet, right, that I think is going to continue going higher. But from a technical perspective, man, this look bearish. I'm not even going to lie. This look low-key bearish. Right now, hopefully, obviously, it doesn't, for the sake of me always looking for longs and me having a bet. But yeah, this definitely doesn't look too promising, man. The only thing that I can see that could potentially save us from a technical perspective is obviously this momentum that we just experienced. Even though we could see another selling off, right, this could just lead to more of a rebound, right? So this would be best case scenario for my bias personally, because again, I am long-term bullish this. Maybe we do see a little bit more selling off, right? Maybe we can come down to the 162, 161 level. And then from the 162, 161, we have the opportunity to then go ahead and go long. All right, that's a possibility, right? That's something that I wouldn't mind seeing. Right, be something like this, right? We see the market actually go up a little bit for GJ, come back up to retest structure, and then we see this thing roll over to the downside. Now we're gonna come and retest this little pause in the market right here, and then from there we find some more demand to send us higher, right? That would be, if I were to map out a blueprint for GJ, this is what I think can happen, right? Something like this, where we start off going up, we reach 165, from 165 we start selling off, all the way down to around the 160.5, the 161, and then from there we go ahead and we make our way back to the upside. All right, if I was to create a path that I want GJ to follow, that is what the path will be like, for sure. For sure ski. for sure. All right, so that's something that's interesting to keep your eyes on, guys, as well, for sure. All right, but let's see what else we got here. The possibility is always there. It can go up. You win your bet and come back to buy Skag's target. Yeah, 100%. It really is. Do you use the fib levels, right? So I don't use fib levels, not as much as I used to, just because I can manually, or not manually, right? But I can visually just identify how deep a pullback is without, obviously, a fib tool, right? Like I can just visually measure it, just because I've been doing this for a while, right? My guess, this is the 50% level, right? Somewhere in there. This right here is probably going to be closer to the 61.8 level, right? Probably 71 or 70, the 70 level, right? 50, 70, 38.2, right? Once you gain experience, you really don't need to actually draw out fibs to identify the levels itself, right? So look at, we had the 50 level. Look at that. That's damn near perfect, right? That's damn near perfect. Look at that fib level right there, right? 50 level, 61.8. The 78.6 a little bit lower, right? So, I mean, it's cool if you need it, right, to help you identify it, but I don't really need it, right? All the fib does is just help us determine how far we can pull back. But I don't ever determine how far I can go based off of just this. I'm using structure, right? So if I'm trying to figure out how far we can go, I'm going to be using these levels right here, right? Like I'm going to expect the market to come back down to this level. I don't determine that based off of a fib. Right? I don't do that off of a fib. I look at still structure points. Structure points, right? What are the structure points that the market can go towards? Structure points. That's what I utilize to identify a pullback in the market, right? Not necessarily the fibs itself. All right, but if you need it, use it. All right, if you need it, use it. Just always look to align, though. Always align those fib levels with some type of level of structure for it to be more valid. Let's see. I just like trolling a little bit. Skaggs is a smart trader, and he's not letting his way stop him from capitalizing the buys too. Oh yeah, of course. That's one thing I love about all of us, right? My core team that I have here, right? Although we might want the market to do one thing, logically we're not idiots. Right? like even for myself, like obviously I want GJ to fly, right, for the sake of my bet. But logically, if the opportunity that's presenting itself is for the short side, then you best believe I'm taking that sell. Right? Like if this market comes up to these levels, then you best believe I'm going to be looking for a sell. Right? Because from a technical perspective, it makes sense. Right? So yeah, we don't allow, a personal bet or a personal feeling to overpower what's logically being shown. It just doesn't make no sense. All right, and I love what you do as well, Eric, because you definitely be trolling the hell out of him. You're one of the few people that actually trolls Skaggs just as aggressively as he trolls everybody else, which is amazing to see, by the way. Right, so shout out to you, Eric. Right, I love the trolling, bro. It gets me excited to see you in the chats in our Discord. Just rubbing it in a little bit. I love to see it personally. Right, but let's see what else we got here, man. When will the market will close today? Well, there's already certain assets that are already closed and are going to be closed for the whole day. But besides those assets like gold and those metals, I mean, it should close at the regular time every day, right? Every Friday, it closes at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 p.m. New York time, all right? That is probably when it's going to close again because that's normally when the market actually closes. All right? So, yeah, very interesting. Let's see. The thing is, when it makes sense saying this question, like you said, we will see, though. I'll be here 5 years from now. Yeah, 5 years from now, right? Talking to our ish about it. But yeah, man, it's going to be dope, man, to see what this actually does end up doing. But technically wise, this thing does look a little suspect. It does look a little suspect. All right. All right, so let's see what else we got here, guys. Let's go back to the indices, man. I've been telling y'all, too, and I've been saying this to my community, man. Like, I'm eventually going to start to clear up this watch list. I only have it up here, to be honest with y'all, because it's easier access for me to get to certain pairs. But I'm gonna start deleting a bunch of this stuff. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it with y'all right now. Get out of here. Get out of here. EURUSD, I'll keep you up there. Gold, I'll keep you up there. US 30, get out of here. NAS, get out of here. All right. I'll keep these other ones, right? And the reason why I'm doing this is because my focus moving forward is gonna be a lot more on S&P 500, right? Like I want to be the S&P 500 master, right? I want to be the king of the S&P 500, the king of it. All right, like I want to be the go-to. Like when people think about the S&P 500, they're thinking about Abel absolutely destroying this, this market right here, right? So I'm definitely gonna be focusing a lot more on the S&P, right, to see if I could really identify, his personalities. All right, every pair, every asset that we trade here, guys, has its own personality, and you're able to identify that personality through continuously trading it, right, and learning the movements. So that's gonna be my biggest thing, right? I'm literally about to, master the S&P 500 and be the GOAT at it. All right, so this is gonna be something super interesting, right? So just be on the lookout, family, right? I'm gonna be the S&P GOAT. But what do I think can happen from the S&P 500, right? From a bigger perspective. Well, I think we can definitely see more bullishness for sure, right? I'm actually a big fan, guys, of seeing more bullishness. In fact, I would love for the market to go ahead and break these highs up here, guys, at around this 4,200 level, right? And I would love to see the market go ahead and make its way. Let's see if I can find where the dollar sign at, man. I would love to be able to find. There we go. Right, I would love to be able to identify selling pressure back up above these highs. I think we have a lot of liquidity, right? The big money bag right here, right? I feel like we have a lot of liquidity that's going to be positioned above these highs, right? That I think we might want to target. So I'm going to be looking for opportunities to continue going long, but then eventually look for reasons to go short. I'm still selling off the indices, right? I don't think, and I could be wrong, right? But I don't think, we're going to see a lot of strength in the stock market just yet, right? I still think we have a long ways to go, right? Especially if the Fed is planning on, holding rates high. The only thing that can obviously change this bias, and we will see the market actually gain strength off of it, is once the actual Fed, pauses rate hikes, then that's going to be something of concerning, right? Especially if I'm looking for long-term shorts, right? A pause of rates, a pause of rate hikes is going to send this thing probably flying. Right, a pause of rate hikes is going to send this thing flying, right? So we have to be mindful of that. All right, but even though we will see the market fly off of them pausing rate hikes, I don't think it's going to hold that long because interest rates are still going to have to stay high now, right? A pause in interest rates and a complete turnaround to them lowering interest rates are two completely different things, right? Them pausing it could bring some optimism. It should. But when they fully turn around and start lowering rates, that's going to fuel the hell out of these markets for sure. Right? The moment you guys see on the news, family, that the Fed has now started to cut rates, y'all better start investing into stocks, cryptos, commodities. Y'all better start getting some assets under your belt. Right? Real estate. Shit, you can even start investing into other things like other things that have supply and demand, right? Like even like the watch game, right? You can start investing into some watches because those should increase in value, right? You should start investing into, even sneakers, right? That hold value, right? Anything that is an asset that has the potential of increasing in value. Once the Fed lowers interest rates and they start cutting, all of those assets are going to start to fly. Now, they're not expecting to cut interest rates until sometime, probably not till 2024, maybe not even 2025. All right, now that's a long ways to go with interest rates remaining high, but that's kind of what's needed if we really want to get inflation under control, right? So, y'all take what y'all want, y'all do what y'all want with this information. All I know is, for me personally, I'm positioning myself now for the moment of when they actually start to pause and the moment that they actually start to lower rates. All right, like I've been buying crypto, for the past 6 months again. All right, I've been investing into crypto. That's like the one thing that I invest a lot into, right? Is the crypto market. I'm a big fan of the crypto space. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. I'm a big fan of Ethereum. I'm a big fan of Polkadot. I'm a big fan of these assets, guys, right? The crypto space is definitely probably where I have a lot of my capital positioned, right? Majority of my investments, right, outside of just business, traditional business, is definitely in the crypto space, right? I don't have too much stock whatsoever, but I have a lot of crypto. So I'm buying again now, right? I'm buying now the crypto space because fundamentally, from a crypto perspective, fundamentally right now is the best time to go ahead and buy. All right, and this is what I'm gonna show you guys right here, right? Let me see. Let me bring up the stock to flow. This is why fundamentally it makes sense for us to buy. All right, Bitcoin. And that's because Bitcoin, guys, it literally moves a specific way every 4 years. Every 4 years, it does the same exact cycle every single time. I mean, it's only happened 3-4 times in the past ever since Bitcoin came out, right, in 2009. But the cycle has held strong every single time. And based off the cycle, right, based off the cycle, whenever we are around 500 days away from the next Bitcoin halving, right, which the halving is supposed to be in 2024, sometime around March, April, or May of 2024, is when the Bitcoin halving is supposed to happen. The Bitcoin halving is when the reward that miners get for mining a block of Bitcoin, it gets cut in half, right? So it reduces the supply that's going to be available, right? And that is a fundamental event, single-handedly the most important fundamental event that the crypto space as a whole goes through is the Bitcoin halving. Single-handedly the most important one, right? But if you notice, 500 to 600 days away from the halving is when we always bottom out. We find that low of the market, and we start to go up in preparation for the halving, right? We can look in the past, right? The last bear market that we had, once we got to 500 days away, right, the market bottomed out, and then we started to fly. Again, similar thing. Let me refresh this, right? I hope y'all is understanding this, family. Again, 400 or 500 days out, the market bottoms out in the crypto space, at least in Bitcoin, and then we fly to all-time highs. Right back in 2015, same thing. Right when we're 400 or 500 days away, the market bottoms out, the halving occurs, and then we absolutely fly to new highs. Right? I mean, we can go all the way back to 2012. Right? Similar concept. Right? You know, 400 or 500 days away, we bottom out, and the market starts to absolutely fly. Right? So again, this is single-handedly the most important fundamental event of the crypto space is the Bitcoin halving. We are back at that level, right? The reason why I've been buying Bitcoin heavily again, every single week I'm making a Bitcoin purchase, an automatic buy. Now, it's nothing too crazy, right? It's a couple $100 that I'm buying a week, right? But it's because I believe that the low was put in, right? If we're looking at history, the low gets put in at around this time. At around this time point, man, this is when the low gets in. So I'm buying with the anticipation of now us making our way higher, the Bitcoin halving happening, and then we create new highs. All right, y'all with me, family, or not, man? Are y'all with me or not? Or are you guys just gonna watch Bitcoin? You know, are you guys just gonna watch Bitcoin go from 27, 28,000 all the way up to 100K and not do a damn thing? Is that the type of investors y'all is? All right, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that's the type of investor y'all are. Right, my little bro Danny's with me. Let's go, Danny. You might be the only one, bro. I love it. Right, little bro Danny gonna be one of the rich. Want to be one of the rich ones. Why? Cause you active. You paying attention. Let's get it. I love it. Yeah, we gonna be rich, Danny. We gonna buy a damn island with these crypto, with these crypto markets, man. So again, do not be surprised if this right here was the low of this current bear market that we were in. Do not be surprised if this was the low right here. Do not be surprised if over time we continue to see Bitcoin make its way to create new highs. Do not be surprised by it. And I'm telling you guys this to bring awareness to the situation out here. Right? Those of you guys that are actually listening to me and are now putting their automatic buys on, in 2025, y'all going to be extremely excited. Right? By 2025, y'all going to be, depending on how much you obviously invest, right? But y'all gonna be so lit, it's gonna be not even funny. All right, y'all gonna be able to really get out of poverty if you start investing today, little by little. The biggest reason why a lot of people do not end up getting involved is because they're like, bro, I don't know if I want to get in at 28, bro. That's kind of expensive, bro. 28,000, bro. That's a lot, bro. And then price is gonna reach up to 40,000, bro. 40,000, bro. That's a lot, bro. If it gets back to 28, bro, I'll get in. Bro, now it's at 40, bro. If it gets back to 28, bro, I'll get in. And then guess what happens? Now we're back at 67,000, right back at all-time highs. Oh, man, bro, I had a chance to get in at 28, bro. Now it's at 70. Oh, man, bro, I missed out. Man, if it goes back to the 40, bro, I'll get in. We're at all-time highs now, and he's talking about if it gets back to the 40,000, we'll get in. You're already mad late to the party, right? But this is exactly how it works, though, right? Now guess what? Now we're trading at all-time highs at 100,000, and everybody that had a chance to get in down here now are not going to get in up here. Actually, matter of fact, they probably will start to get in up here now that we're creating new highs. That makes no sense. You don't want to get into a market, guys, when we're creating new highs. No, we want to get in down here when nobody's talking about it, when there's a lot of fear around it. That's when we want to get in, not when we're up here. And the sad reality is, those of y'all that are listening right here, that I'm telling you guys what to do, and not necessarily telling y'all because I'm not a financial advisor. I can't legally tell you guys what to do with your money. Y'all do what you want. But just me giving you guys the heads up that this is actually a very good price point, and y'all not going to take advantage of it. Y'all going to wait for price to reach 100K to start getting involved. That makes no sense. That just makes no sense. Right? But that's the reality of investing. That's how a lot of newer investors invest. Right? They allow all that fear that's entering the crypto space to stop them from getting in at a stupid discounted price. All of this is discounted. This is all discount. This is a discount. Why not take advantage of the market when we're at a discount? Why wait for us to actually go ahead and get back into premium pricing to get involved? That makes no freaking sense. It makes no sense. Right, so those of y'all that have the opportunity to get in right here at these levels, do not let me see y'all selling. Do not let me see y'all saying, oh yeah, I just bought in Bitcoin at 100K. What, bro? You had the opportunity to get in 3x ago. Right? Like, come on, man. So again, y'all do what y'all want with y'all money. But just know, my community, the ones that are actually listening, we gonna be extremely, extremely wealthy after this next bull run. I'm gonna say it like that, right? I want to make at least 50 million this next bull run. And y'all might think like 50 million, bro, that's a lot. No, that's not, right? We gonna make 50 million this next bull run because we've been already buying, right? We've been accumulating this entire time. Every day, or every week, I mean, not every day, but every week I'm buying. Every week I'm buying $200-300 worth. Every week I'm buying $200-300 worth. Every single week. $200-300, right? I'm spending like $1,000 a month in just Bitcoin purchases and it's not just Bitcoin, right? I'm saying Bitcoin because of the obvious, right? But I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm buying Ethereum, and I'm buying Polkadot. Those are my top three. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot. Every week. And it's not going to fail. And I'm doing that every single week for the next year. Every single week for the next year, I'm adding more into the portfolio. I already have a crazy portfolio. But adding an extra $1,000 a month at these price levels, oh man. Oh man. It's gonna be extremely lucrative for anybody that's paying attention, that's listening. All right, it's just gonna suck though, right? It's gonna suck though when, you know, Bitcoin is back at its highs, and some of you guys come into my stream when I'm over here saying, "Yeah, Bitcoin's at 100K, let's go," and I'm gonna see some of you guys in the chat saying, "Damn, Abel, bro, I remember when you was talking about it at 28, bro. Oh man, I should have just got in, bro. Oh, I should have just bought $50 worth, bro. I should have did this. I should have did that." Stop with the shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? And just do it. You gotta just do it, right? You gotta just pull that trigger, man. But overall, though, family, again, I know you guys can tell, you know, how bullish I am. The crypto space long term. You know, I really do think that this thing is going to absolutely reach new highs within the next 2-3 years. Right, by 2025, I truly do believe we'll be trading at new highs here, you know, for the crypto space. Or I truly believe it. Okay? So, you know, obviously only time will tell, but that's pretty much where I'm at. All right, let's go back to see what we have here, guys. See if the dollar is still holding. So the dollar is still holding pretty strong, right? We did see that increase. What about indices? S&P. The S&P is also holding very strong. I mean, they look kind of identical. Not even going to lie, the S&P and the dollar index right now. All right, so those are very interesting. GJ, what are we doing? Again, GJ, I do believe we're going to continue bullish. All right, I do believe we're going to continue bullish. All right, obviously, I don't like to go against, you know, my favorite pattern stick right here. So I think we do see more higher pricing here for GJ. All right, now again, family, I'm not buying or selling. I'm not pressing no trades. Look at the calendar. All right, the calendar is absolutely disgusting. Right, the calendar is absolutely gross. Right, look at how many bank holidays we have here. Right, this is not an environment that I want to be placing trades in. So I'm not. Hell no. Hell no. Right, but let's see what you guys are talking about. FX Summit gonna be a movie for sure. What ledger? So the ledger itself is the actual ledger. All right, the ledger is the name brand, right? And I don't even use my ledger, right? I actually have something else called a SafePal, right? So I have a ledger. I believe it's the ledger S, I want to say, right? But I personally use something like this, right? This is what I personally use as my hardware wallet. All right, so again, I do have a ledger, all right, and it is that's the most known one, right? Is the ledger. But I don't know, man. These SafePals, man, have been pretty good to me, right? This is what I personally hold my crypto in, right here. All right, the hardware wallet. Wow. This thing right here, right? It looks like a credit card, but it's pretty fire, right? This thing is super dope, right? It got the settings, it got the QR code that can show up right on the thing. It got a little camera on the back of it too, so you can also scan QR codes with this thing. Yeah, this thing is sick, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. For only $50, man, you can't go wrong with this. Way cheaper than the ledger. Way cheaper than the ledger. Right, but yeah, this thing is pretty dope. Not even gonna lie. 100% offline air gapped signing mechanism. Truly cold storage. There's no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi. I don't even know what NFC is. And no USB connection, right? So this thing is dope. This is what I personally use right here. Y'all use what you want, though. You can't go wrong with a ledger either, but it's what I use, right? And if you're going to be using this, if you believe in that, I actually invested into the actual token as well. All right, because SafePal also has its own token. All right, SafePal actually has its own token as well, right? So since I use the actual product, you know, I decided to invest in a token. Now, again, this is an actual, like this project right here, guys, is partnered with Binance as well, right? Like Binance, the largest exchange in the world. All right. Like they're actually partnered with them, like direct partnership. I actually think this was probably created by the actual Binance team. I can't actually confirm that, but so yeah, you know, I actually invested into the token itself. Right now, obviously, it's down like everything else, but this could be a steal. Right, the high was around $3.50 was the high at one point for this. $3.50. Right now it's at 50 cents. So even if we just reach back to the highs, we're talking about, I mean, that's like 400, 500, 600% returns there. 600% gains. Insane, right? You put in 10,000, you getting back 50 to 60,000 off of this one project. All right, so I'm still holding my batch that I have here. So we'll see how that goes for sure. All right, but yeah, you know, this is the wallet that I use. Let's see. We need people to buy at the high. Unfortunately, we do, right? We need some exit liquidity for people to buy at the high, especially when we start to, you know, take some profits. Let's see what's up, champ. It's me, Gum Clan. Gum Clan. Yo, Gum Clan, bro. How many freaking YouTubes do you have? What, do you just be like switching names? You just be rotating names? Is that what you do? You go from Gum Clan to Foreigner? All right. Let's see. Very good, sir. I see what you wrote too, Eric. Right? We kind of do miss. Actually, I don't miss trolling. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. All Are you aware of all this stuff going on with Binance? I mean, there's always a lot of stuff going on with Binance. All right, there's always a lot of stuff going on with Binance, right? I mean, that's what comes when you're the number one in the space, right? Like Binance is the closest thing to a monopoly in the actual, crypto space as a whole, right? So there's gonna be a lot of issues with it, and I expect it to be, obviously a lot of issues. It is what it is. That just comes with it. But I will say this, right? They still are extremely cash rich. They have a ton of assets. They're still very strong fundamentally, regardless. Even if the U.S. was to ban Binance, I don't think that's going to do too much regardless. Right? The U.S. only makes up a small portion, guys, of actually people buying crypto, right? So let me actually see if I can find the number real quick. Right? The number of Americans who buy and hold crypto. Let's see. I don't even think this is the right. That's in 2021. Let's see. 20% of Americans own crypto, right? So that's what they're saying. I want to see crypto holdings by country. Let's see if we can find something. Alright, so let's see what we got here, right? So this is from 2022 in December. Analyticsinsight.net. We'll bring this up real quick. We'll bring this up real quick as well. We'll see. Right, let's see what they say, right? So this source, analyticsinsight.net, let's see if it can even load. That one's not loading, so let's go over here. AAA, cryptocurrency ownership data. Over 420 million crypto owners worldwide. Interesting. Let's see. We estimate global crypto ownership rates at an average of 4.2%. Yeah. Top countries, the USA. So the USA is a top country. Ownership percentage. Okay. Interesting. All right, I want to do. Yeah, right. The whole point of me saying this, guys, that the U.S. is not even the largest holder of crypto whatsoever, right? Asia is by far one of the largest for sure. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Thailand, 20% cryptocurrency owners. Nigeria, Philippines, Turkey, Argentina. Okay. I don't know how. Now again, these websites, guys, just, let's be mindful, right? These sources, you got to be careful of. Let's see, 41% of Brazilians. That's interesting. 41% of Brazilians own cryptocurrency. Interesting. Wow, 20%. Okay. By continent. Let's see. The Coin Cubs Crypto Continent Ranking. I don't know. All right. Either way, though, family, get invested, man. Like, don't wait till last minute. Don't wait till last minute. Please don't wait till last minute to do any of that. Right. But besides all that, though, family, this is going to be a quick stream. Oh, not a quick stream, right? We're out here for like an hour or so. But this is going to be another stream, family, where, there's not much that we can do. It's not the day to be trading. It's not the day to be actively trying to push the buttons. If you are going to be trading for whatever reason, just lower your risk tremendously. Right? If you risk 1%, risk half of it. Right? If you risk 2, risk 1. Right? Risk whatever you normally risk, but put half of it. Right? Just to be safe. Because it's going to be a super slow, choppy moving day today. Right? But hopefully you guys were able to gain some value. Hopefully you guys were able to understand my insight as to the fundamentals of things, guys. And hopefully you guys were able to take that and, continuously grow and improve yourselves. But without further ado, family, I'm going to go ahead and jump off this now. I got to go ahead and make some moves early morning. I got to go hit the gym as well and go ahead and do what I got to do. Right, but I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. Go ahead and smash the like button one time if you guys got some value as well. And I will be back with y'all in the next video that I drop. Right, I'm actually going to be editing or recording and editing a video today that I will be dropping probably tomorrow. All right, so family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with me, and I will see you guys all a little bit later. Let's get it.